I've read this particular passage of scripture many times, but never seen some of the things that I'm seeing in it most recent. So, old treasure, new, fresh revelation. Somebody say new and fresh. Amen. After this, there was a feast. Somebody say a feast of the Jews. Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Next verse. Now there is at Jerusalem by the sheep market a pool, which is called in the Hebrew tongue Bethesda, having 5 porches. So let me give you the backdrop. Stay at 3. The backdrop is Jesus is visiting the pool of Bethesda. And research says that they only proved that the pool of Bethesda was a reality in Jerusalem most recently. They searched and searched and searched for this pool. Though it is in the text, they couldn't find it. The Gospel of John is one of the few writers that ever refer to the pool of Bethesda. And this is the reason why some thought it was a made-up place or a symbolic place. But it is actual reality. Research, archaeologists found it and discovered this is what Jesus referred to in the text. So the pool of Bethesda is a living reality, and there is some historical things concerning the pool of Bethesda that I want to talk about that'll give us context and help us understand why this man stayed around the water. 3rd verse, in these lay a great multitude, and I need you to get this, a great multitude of folk, of blind, halt, withered, waiting for the moving of the water. So there was a group of people, if you get the picture here, waiting for the moving of the water. All these sick people, blind people, halt people, withered people, waiting for the moving of the water. 4th verse. And then Jesus refers to it, for an angel went down at a certain season in the pool and troubled the water. Whosoever then first, after the troubling of the water, stepped in was made whole of whatever disease he had. So the picture is that the water, you have the water, you got a pool, water, and then these group of lame, blind, withered people who waited for an angel to show up to trouble the water. As soon as they saw the water stirring, they raced to get into the water because the water had healing power in it. And the angel and the water had healing power. And if they stepped into the water, they were healed of their disease. The next verse. And a certain man was there which had an infirmity 38 years. So there was a man there that now becomes the central focus of the text, that changes the text, because this one man who has been there 38 years. I'd never made much light or much attention, Pastor Dave, of the fact that he had been there 38 years. And realistically, when you think in terms of 38 years is a half of a lifetime. When you add 38 and 38, 16, that's 76 years old. That is a half of a lifetime. The average man will die at the age of 80. The average woman will die at the age of 85. That's the average lifespan, particularly of African-American men and women. So this man has lived a half of a lifetime waiting on something to happen. And when Jesus saw him and knew that he had been there a long time in that case, he says to him, he specifically finds this man. Now remember, the whole pool got a bunch of folk around it. So there's more than just a man there. He said, but I know you've been here a long time in that case. So he says to him, will thou be made whole? We'll come back to that in a minute. 7th verse says, the impotent man answered him. He did not ask. He answers him. He answers another question. This is not the question that Jesus asked him, but the man proceeds to tell him that I have no man, no one, when the water is troubled, to put me in the pool. But while I'm coming, another man steps down before me. The next verse, Jesus said unto him, rise up, take thy bed, and walk. So Jesus tells him his answer. Jesus' answer to his excuse is rise up and walk. High five your neighbor, said rise up and walk. Next verse, please. Next verse, please. Next verse, please. Jesus said to him, and immediately the man was made whole and took up his bed and walked. On the same day was the Sabbath. 10th verse, please. So this is the Sabbath. So Jesus, so that you'll know the historical text or the historical context of it, the Sabbath day was the day of rest. You don't work on the day. You don't carry nothing on the day. You don't carry a sheep. You don't labor. You don't do any of this. So Jesus is a rule breaker because the man is walking on the Sabbath day. And then the next verse says, and the Jews therefore said unto him that was cured, it is the Sabbath day. It is not lawful to thee to carry thy bed. So the Jews that addressed this man was more concerned about what day it was than him getting up to walk, even though he's been that way over half of a lifetime. Next verse, please. And Jews, and he was cured. The 11th verse said, and he answered them, he that made me whole the same day unto me, take up thy bed and walk. Something that I'd never seen before. The man did not know who made him whole. So let's read it. It'll blow your mind. I'd never seen it either. The 12th verse says, watch this, the 12th verse says, then they asked him, what man is this which said unto thee, take up thy bed and walk? Is that a question? Come on. Do y'all see it behind me? Next verse. So the answer to the question, he said, that that he that was healed wist not who it was. So he didn't know. For Jesus had conveyed himself away, and multitude being in that place. The man who was healed didn't know who healed him. And when Jesus got through healing him, he kind of hid himself in the multitude. Next verse, or the 14th verse and 15. And afterwards Jesus findeth him in the temple and said unto him, Behold, thou art made whole. Sin no more, lest a worse thing come upon thee or unto thee. What blew my mind is what sin did the man have? Because he had been laid crippled for 38 years. So what sin is Jesus referring to? Don't know. The 15th verse, and then the man departed and told the Jews that it was Jesus which had made him whole. You may be seated in the presence of the Lord. So several things that I want to lift out of this to give us some understanding of what God is doing in many of our lives. Jesus in this particular text, Jesus in this text is visible but invisible. The man is not he's not aware. Jesus do not reveal himself to the man until after he's walking. Doesn't give him, because it was after the dialogue. The man was asked, who is it that healed you? He didn't know the man that healed him. All he know, he was walking. He was up now. He was delivered, if you will, based upon terminology. He was delivered of 38 years of being impotent with the inability to walk. He has hung around a pool waiting for something to happen in his life. I need you to write this down so we will talk just a few moments from this perspective. Brother Eric, excuses will get you excluded. This is we've got to understand that what God is going to do in your life is predicated upon whether you recognize that there are some things that you don't need to wait for. And so Jesus is in this text. Jesus is here. He's visible. The power of God. This is what blew my mind. We know where the power is. So let's exclude a few things from the text first so we can understand where the power is. Number one, the man has been there 38 years of his life. All he has known is 38 years overhead. So we don't know. The text don't tell us how old he is. It just tells us how long he's been in that condition. So that means in order for Jesus to say, do not sin anymore, and even though a worse thing may come on your life, he had to be before the 38 years, he had to have had a life before the 38 years. Because the only thing he's been doing for 38 years is sitting at a pool. Y'all ain't talking to me. Is it making sense here? In other words, he had to be at least 12 years or older in order for Jesus to hold him accountable for something that he may do to displease God. Oh God. So Jesus says, so in the text, he's been there 38 years. Several things. He's around a pool. Somebody say a pool. Somebody say a pool. And he's around the pool with folk who look like him. So he's around the pool with the sick, with the lame, with the broken, the blind, all those issues. So I need you to write this down. Surroundings matter. Oh God, atmospheres matter. I wish somebody would help me preach here. It don't matter. I'm talking to Albanians, Sylvestrians, and Tiffanyans, and Camillians, and Palliums, and all the other Putneys. I'm talking to all these people who use their environment as an excuse. No, you're just an excuse maker. But when you understand where the power is, you understand that, matter of fact, I was away, and the Lord helped me that unless you can build something in the dark, you ain't ready for light. Unless you can take a bad situation, a river, a desert, and put a river in it, you ain't ready for the next level. God will test test you with nothing to see what you do with nothing before he gives you something. I wish I could preach here. Before he hands you gold, he gonna see what you do with a dollar bill. Before he can hand you the business, he want to see how you handle other folks' business. You want to be an entrepreneur, but you can't show up to work on time. You want to empower somebody, but you can't even, resist the little temptation. How you want to mentor somebody, how you want to mentor somebody, train somebody, and you can't even hold your tongue when God said hold your tongue. Y'all ain't saying nothing. God will trust you with somebody else's stuff before he gives you your own stuff. I'm going to preach anyway. Look at somebody and say, excuses will get you excluded from the destiny of God. I'm so tired of all these excuse makers. Every time you look around, it's somebody else's fault. Every time you look around, it's that fault, their fault. Somebody did something to you. Listen, I don't preach on haters. Let me tell you why I don't preach on haters, because a hater can't stop me from my destiny. I've lived long enough to know that my enemies cannot stop what God has anointed. So I'm not going to even make my haters the excuse. Can't nobody bury me, and even if you bury me, I'm still anointed. Y'all ain't saying nothing. You can't talk me down. You can't spread a lie about me and keep me from preaching. Look at your neighbor and say, I'm too anointed, too seasoned, and too experienced. Y'all can't say nothing. Tell somebody, I can't wait on excuses. I'm not going to allow excuses to set me back. Matter of fact, I need a good lie in order to walk in the truth. Y'all ain't saying nothing. You can lie on me. You can talk about me. You can do whatever you want to do. Look at your neighbor and say, I'm still going to walk with my head up. I'm still going to pray. You can't take my prayer life. Y'all ain't talking back to me. I wish somebody would help me preach. High five somebody and say, excuses will get you excluded. So man and woman of God, we've got to understand the man was in this condition for 38 years. Somebody say 38 years. Almost a half of a lifetime, this man is in a particular condition. But he's surrounded by people who are in the same condition he's in. Sometimes God will test whether you really, because some folk, Pam, they just big fish in a small pond. In their own mind, they think they bigger than, I ain't never met so many people who think they bigger than Albany. But if you can't conquer this place, you ain't as big as you think you are. If you don't know how to be nice when people are being mean to you, if you don't know how to smile when folk are frowning at you, if y'all ain't saying, I ain't never met so many people who become the condition they say they better than. The man's in a condition, he's around people, he's become his atmosphere. Is there for 38 years. He's become his atmosphere. He's become as bitter as people around him. I'm coming to your house in a minute. He eats like everybody else eats. He acts like everybody else acts. Ain't nobody talking. Y'all done got quiet on me now, because I told you I was coming to your house. He broke like everybody else is broke. Everybody else spend their money, you spend your money. You ain't got no discipline, but you can't go to the next level until you make up your mind. I'm not like this. I am better than this. I am going to the next level. I wish I had about 20 people that said, I'm better than this. I'm better than where I am. I'm about to shift to the next level. Look at your neighbor and say, I come with good news that there is a power within you that causes God to meet your power and take you above your circumstances. I wish I had somebody that was ready to go to the next level. And you know what I learned from this, David? If I ain't learned nothing else from this text, I come to talk to people who are 40 and over. It is evident to me that he's been this way 38 years, and Jesus holds him accountable for his sin, meaning that he's got to be, let's say, a minimum of 50 years. I prophesy to everybody that's over 45 that you are no longer going to use your age as an excuse to get you excluded, that God will restore everything that the cankerworm stole from you, and everything your children, and everything your kids, and everything those bad decisions stole from you, God will restore it back to you. Look at your neighbor and say, your age is not a limitation. Tell somebody, my age is not a limit. I came to preach the good news. My age is not a limitation. If nobody is a testimony that your age is not a limitation, I gotta be a testimony that God will take you in the latter part of your life and open up doors in your life. Look at somebody and say, I'm not limited. Can't nothing stop me. I wish I could preach here. Tell your neighbor, can't nothing stop me. Oh God, I wish I could preach here. I'm almost through. So, people, pool. Let me tell you why they hung around water. From a historical perspective, they hung around water because angels often visited water. And when they would visit water, something supernatural would happen. This is a Hebrew practice. They believe in the power of angels and they believe in the power of water. Angels and water, divine presence, divine entities. They believe that if God touched water, there's healing in the water. If God touches it, there is healing in the water. Over 75% of your body. Somebody look at somebody and say, I'm water. I wish I could preach here. Look at somebody and say, I'm full of water. You're water. If we drain you, you die. Y'all ain't saying that because you are 75% nothing but water. I know you thought you were 75% intellect. I know you thought you were 75% special. But tell your neighbor, you ain't nothing but fluid, baby. You're fluid. So it was a tradition, Brother Williams, for them to hang around the water. So they are not out of tradition. They are doing what other people do. They are hanging around, hoping, wishing that when the angel come and when the water is stirred, somebody hurries up to get in the water. This is so they're not odd. This is not different. This is a practice, a traditional practice. But let me tell you what I learned here. Water and angels. Somebody say water and angels. 23 is the year of manifestation. It is the year of abundance. It is the year where God is going to open up doors. But watch this. You better catch me. If you're looking for him to perform the same way tomorrow as he did on yesterday, you may miss what he's doing now. They waited on a tradition and they waited for the visitation of the divine one the same way he's always showed up. I wish I could preach here. So what am I saying to you? I ain't never met so many people who were stuck in a system that the only thing they know that if he came in January 21, he's gonna come January 22. If he come, y'all ain't saying nothing, y'all missing me. In other words, they got so stuck in a system and so stuck in a tradition that they missed the move of God. I wish I can preach here. I come to tell you that what God's about to do in this next season is going to be an oxymoron. It is going to be so unique and so different and so divine and so powerful that you can't look for him to show up the way he showed up in the past. Why these men got stuck at this same place is because they were not open to another level and to another visitation. I come to tell you that when you've come in the left in times past, you better turn to your right because he's coming another way. And then if he came from the right, you better turn backwards because the way God's going to show up in this next level, he may not show up like he came in the past. You're looking for an angel didn't come. You're looking for the stirring of the water didn't come. But look at your neighbor, says there was a missing link. They were looking for water, he ain't the one. They looking for an angel, he ain't the one. Look at somebody and say, can't miss what he about to do. Sometimes I ain't never met so many people who keep missing the Christ, keep missing the glory of God. They looking for somebody else. Oh, I forgot another one. It's in the text. They waited for a man to pick them up. Am I in the book? Somebody said he waited for a man to lift them up. One thing I have learned, you better stop looking for a man. Man, I wish I could. Somebody say, man is good. Come on, somebody, man is good. Come on, talk to me. Somebody say, man is good. Somebody say, an angel is good. Somebody say, I gotta have water. These are all good things. Somebody say, good things. I wish I had somebody that would just shout with me. Somebody say, they all good. Somebody say, they all good. Tell Tell somebody they all good, but it ain't the way God's going to do it next time. I come to prophesy to somebody that God's about to do something so big in your life that can't no man take no credit. Can't no angel take no credit. Y'all ain't saying that. It is going to be a sovereign move of the Holy Ghost. Somebody say it's going to be big. Somebody say big, big, big. Somebody say big. So there is a missing. This is the problem. Y'all sit them down. Because you're trying to stop me from doing surgery. I ain't never met so many people who want to go another way. It's in this text. Because they saw him move one way. And if we ain't never had so many people as today who don't think that God can meet them and open a door for them. If I hook up with the right man, if I can get in the right place, if I can get that many likes on social media, ain't nobody talking to me. If I get enough folk following me, I know y'all don't believe in miracles no more. I know you don't believe in the supernatural no more. I know you don't believe that God can find you right where you are. I know. See, because what we don't have faith to do is to sit and wait on God. Y'all ain't saying nothing. God is able. What we see in this text is that everything he waited on, he didn't need anymore. Look at your neighbor and say, he didn't need it anymore. He didn't need the pool anymore. Ain't nobody talking to me. He didn't need the angel anymore. And he didn't need a man anymore. I need you to high five your neighbor and say something big is about to happen, and can't no man get no glory for what God's about to do in my life. I know I ain't never seen so many people who got to try it their way, got to do it their way, got to go their route. And God said, go my route, I'll do it for you. Go my route. And I will. Let me just put a disclaimer here. His route is not always the fastest route. Oh, I got to talk to you because I know we think because we say God's going to do it. But that means easier. No, sir. I didn't say that. But I will tell you, you won't have as much trauma attached to the miracle that if you didn't wait on God, let me tell you the kind of crazy stuff that can happen. You can get something that you know that is hard to detach yourself from. You attach yourself to a spirit. You attach yourself to promises. You owe so many people that you'll never have enough to ever pay them back. But if you wait on God and say, God, let me do it in your life. Let me work a miracle in your life. Let me put the pieces on the table, on the puzzle the right way. Let me connect you to the people that you need to be connected with. Won't you sit somewhere and just be quiet? Won't you just sit there long enough so somebody to see that you're doing something powerful, and let me do it in your life, and then I will lift you, and then you won't have to, y'all ain't talking back to me. Look at your neighbor, say, wait on him. Somebody say, wait on him. I wish I can preach here. Watch this. Bethesda means the pool or the place of mercy. It is the place of mercy. It is the place of kindness. It is the place where God gives you the space to find your real self without condemnation. When you hang out at the house of mercy, he reconciles things. When you hang out at the house of redemption, he redeems you from guilt and shame. But when you hang out at the house of mercy, he restores you back to his mind. It was back to his mind. This man is 38 years broken, But God says, hang out here long enough, and I want to put you back in the place that I met you in my mind. I created a man that walked in my mind. I created a man that was powerful in my mind. Ain't nobody talking to me. I created somebody that had willpower. I wish I could preach here. I created a man. This is going to kill you. Number one, I'm almost through. He didn't know he was talking to Jesus. Let me help you here. You know what I discovered about this, Brother King? This is crazy. And I know some of y'all ain't going to like this. Oh, but Jesus says, I didn't reveal myself to him until he had the power to walk on himself. I wish I could preach here. Sometimes all you need is to be in the right environment, and you'll walk even though you don't even know it's Jesus that's walking, which tells me that God don't come along. I don't know what kind of God we done met, but we done met a God that keeps us weak even though we say we met God. Oh no, what this tells us is that when you've been created in the image and the likeness of God, you're strong even though if you don't know God. Y'all ain't saying nothing. The man didn't know who was talking to him. He didn't know he was as powerful as he was. He didn't know that he had his own will to get up on his own and do some stuff all by himself. I know ain't nobody catching me. I don't know what you're waiting on, but what the man did after 38 years is decided that guess what? I'm tired of waiting in line. I'm tired of waiting on a man. I'm tired of waiting on water. I'm tired of waiting on angels. I want to get up and do some stuff on my own. Y'all ain't saying, I don't know who it was. The Bible says, listen, the man ain't the only one, David, that didn't know he was in the presence of the Lord. The Bible says Jacob is wrestling, goes to sleep, and has a visitation from God, and wakes up and said, I've been in the presence of the Lord and did not know it. Y'all ain't saying, I was in the presence of the Lord and did not know it. Tell your neighbor, I don't know that I'm in the presence of the Lord. This tells me atmospheres mean everything. You can hang around the religion all you want. You can hang around the man all you want. Some of us are attached to stuff because it's a family tradition. But I got to go to a place that makes me walk. I wish I can preach here. I got to find an environment that gets me up doing something that I ain't done in 38 years. I come to tell you that there's possibility in you. High five your neighbor, say you're bigger and stronger than your condition has told you. I wish I could preach here. How many of us, your environment has demoted you? How many of you, when you get around the right people, something comes alive inside of you? Y'all ain't saying nothing. Some folk, I don't know who you are, but let me just talk to some of y'all. Some of you ride a whole 2 hours to get to the anointing. Why? Because when you get to a certain kind of anointing, something comes alive in you. You done tried this person. You done tried this church. You done tried that anointing. And lay there, sit there, and nothing happens. But high five your neighbor, said, if I get to the right place, I'll walk when they told me I couldn't walk. I'll birth something when they told me I couldn't birth something. I'll do some things that my environment has told me, Eric, it's too late to happen in my life. I come to talk to those who are 40 and 50 and older. It ain't too late, baby. You just need to get around the right people that keep telling you you ain't too old. You're not antiquated. I wish I could preach to somebody up in here. Get up, baby, and let nobody put excuses on you. Tell somebody in 2023, I cannot be excluded because I'm throwing away all of my excuses. I wish I could preach up in here. Oh, I come to talk to Vincent. Vincent, it don't matter what the devil tried to do to you. It don't matter what he tried. Listen, your days. Look at your neighbor, say, you have not reached your final number. You have not reached your final destination. Tell you, everybody just point over to Vincent, say, rise up and walk, baby. Oh, I wish I could preach this. I wish I could preach this. Who's telling themselves that your days are numbered? Who's telling your days? Who's telling you that it's over for you? Just because you got 2 marriages and divorce and ain't none of them work, you don't know what the third one's going to be. I just heard the third one's going to be a charm. Somebody say, oh, y'all ain't saying that. High five your neighbor, say, try it again. I come against fear because no excuse will get, come on, talk to me. I don't care what done happened. Tell your neighbor, I'm going to try it again. High five your neighbor and say, the third one's a charm. The third one's a charm. Sometimes a person's no is divine protection. I'm coming here. Over in Africa, I'm reversing and changing this whole rejection thing. Look at your neighbor and say, some rejection you need. Y'all ain't saying that. Look at somebody and say, some people who reject you is God telling them to reject you because it's God protecting you from their toxicity. High five your neighbor and say, I'm so glad you said no. I wish I can preach here. You just preserved me for my yes. You just helped me for the, y'all ain't saying that. Look at your neighbor and say, thank you for pushing me away because now, look at your neighbor and say, now I rise. I gotta be through, gotta be through, gotta be through. Gotta be through. "38 years. Hanging around something that didn't produce anything." The reason, Shan, the Lord gave me this title, Excuses, because when Jesus healed the man, he found out he didn't need any of it. Oh, God, y'all ain't catch it. Y'all didn't catch it. The very thing he was waiting on, he didn't need it. What's holding you up is false props. Things you think you need. People you think you need. Stuff you think you need. You have used that as an excuse to be handicapped. And I come to take all canes away. I come to take all, y'all ain't say walkers away. I need you to walk out of this church on both feet saying, I ain't got no more excuses. I am going to take 23 by storm. I wish somebody would help me. Look at your neighbor and say, I thought I needed you. I love you, but I don't need you. Because when God gets ready to do something for me, y'all ain't saying nothing. Look at somebody and say, I don't need you like I thought I needed you. I just need a visitation. The pool is not your problem. The pool is your excuse. Jesus heals the man, and he meets the man, and Jesus says, you want to be made well? The man, the 38, somebody say the 38, because he's nameless, we don't know his name, so 38. 38 says to him, the reason I'm in this condition is because ain't nobody helping me. I'm coming to your house in a minute. The pool, the angel, no man's here to help me. This is going to kill you. Watch this. Jesus says, do you want to be made? And he gives him an excuse. The man, 38, gives him an excuse. Jesus is so masterful because he never addresses the man's excuses. Watch this, because some of y'all live here. A lot of y'all live here. The reason he doesn't address it is because God never addresses Self-pity. Self-pity is just another way of not understanding it's the enemy hiding you from you. And see, so you got to understand, God don't reduce himself down to talk to your self-pity. See, and we think self-pity gets God's attention. It doesn't. Say, do you want to be made whole? That's what I need to know. Do you want to be made whole? I could leave you here like everybody else. Have your excuses become your own stronghold? Ain't nobody stopping you. He was waiting on a man. Let's talk about a man. You keep talking about what ain't in place. That becomes your own self-sabotaging. Maybe you fear failure and won't admit it. Maybe God is saying, birth something powerful and do something big with your life. And you keep talking about, ain't no man open no door for you. Sometimes you have to create. Y'all ain't saying nothing. High five your neighbor, say you got to create this thing on yourself. All you need is a visitation from God. And watch this. When you get this revelation, he'll send the right men that will help you do what you're trying to do. But you got to get up first. Somebody say, get up. I'm almost through. Oh, God, I got to be through. I got to be through. Because if I go into this, it's going to be murder. What Jesus is teaching us here, that he meets desire. Desire is a form of faith. He meets desire. Do you desire to be better? If you don't increase your desire, 23 will be nothing but another repeat year. Does your desire bring power to you? I know what you desire by what you read. I know what you desire by how you pray. I know what you desire by the people you're with. Your mouth may be telling me one thing, but I'll look at your surroundings and I'll know what you're going to become. Ain't nobody talking to me. When you hang around the right people, they stimulate. Association brings stimulation. Y'all ain't saying that. Somebody say, I desire. So for 23, I need somebody to high five somebody. Just high five. I'll tell you what you're high fiving them for. Say high five, high five. That might be the last time I high five you, because I am changing my circles for 2023, because I can't get where I want to go trying to hang out with people who've been in my yesterday. You got it. Your desire has to now activate to action, and you can't be so subtly and so attached to emotionally attached to people that you're not willing to do the hard work. I gotta break away from you to go to the next level. Somebody say, I'm going to the next level. Oh, y'all ain't saying nothing. He meets desire. I gotta be through here. Waiting on people until you act on your dreams. Waiting on people until you write the book. Waiting on people until you do business. Waiting on people until you go to school. Waiting on people until you change relationships. If you don't have desire and don't let God anoint your desire, you'll still be in the same cycle of dreaming. I'm almost here. Let me tell you what I learned from this. Can I tell you what I learned? I'm going to let you peek into what I learned from here. Can I tell you? Can I tell you? Ask me, what did you learn? Come on. I learned from this text, Vincent, crises test your power. You say, what you talking about, man? What you talking about, man? I'm so glad you asked. I wondered why he picked the man who'd been there half a lifetime. I wish I could preach here. Why did he pick this man who's possibly over 50 years old? He didn't pick a young boy. But he picked somebody who has been in a condition for 38 years. Because one of the reasons why this is murder to me, because if you still got will to live and you've been in a condition 38 years, you somebody special. Wish I could preach here. If you could have a condition or see about a condition or be in a condition or be down in a position or a condition and still there's something in you dreaming and still there's something in you that says, I know that I'm tending to this, but there's still something telling me about possibilities and dreams, and there's still something. Listen, I don't care how many bad relationships you've been in, but there's still something in you telling you I'm still relatable. You didn't like me, and I don't care how many failed situations. You don't want me, but somebody want me. Because when you can lie hold of the power that's inside of you, though your condition has been long, when you know that there's still something special about you, though you were once paralyzed. I couldn't walk, but in my own mind I had legs. I couldn't talk, but in my own mind I was talking. There is something special and unique about you, and I just come to talk to all the special people. I just want to talk to people that no matter what situation you've been in, you know you're still special. You know you're still chosen. You know you're still called. Y'all ain't saying nothing. 38 conditions, 38 years, Louise. Yeah, I don't care if you're 70 years old. God will take your 70-year-old fine self and turn your life around. As long as you say to yourself, there's still something special about me. Tell somebody there's a power within me. I see something alive in me. I see my own mind. I see how spread. I wish I could preach this like I felt it. High five your neighbor and say, I'm powerful. I'm anointed. No matter what my condition has been. This is the biggest part. I'm through. I'm ending it today. I'm ending it today. I'm ending it right now. I'm ending it right now. You don't want to miss this piece. You don't want to miss this. Lord taught me this a few weeks ago, that Jesus is to be received. Jesus is to be believed. Watch this. But Jesus is to be repeated. That what happens, it's interesting to me that Jesus never told the man who he was. It's in the text. Just watch this. So Christ is supposed to be a reflection of your own possibility. Oh God, I wish I could preach here. I don't think you caught it. That when I experience Christ, He's exposing me to my own possibility. That when I have an experience with him, he's telling me you can be and do what I have done. I wish I could preach here. That he is a reflection of how powerful I am. I wish I can preach here. That he's such a power that I don't even have to tell you I'm the Christ. Just get around me and there'll be something in you that's drawn to something in me that's telling me how powerful I am. What's I gonna do here? Look at your neighbor and say, I just come to wake up the giant in you.
All I can say is wow. That word definitely did not disappoint. If you would like to sow into Rhema Cathedral or the anointing, all of our convenient giving methods are on your screen. If you would like to become a partner to this ministry, please send a text using the information on your screen. We welcome you to join us for a live worship experience at 11 a.m. at our Williamsburg Road location. Thank you so much for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you next time for the Rhema Word Virtual Experience.